Welcome students. In this video, we will be discussing the implementation of counting nodes in linked list. So previous video, we have just discussed about the idea of how to count nodes in linked list, both in iterative and also in recursive procedure, right? So now let us get directly into the implementation part. Already previous the previous concept of of displaying the linked list, I think we have already not we have written functions for creating a linked list and also for displaying both iteratively and recursively. But here the main task is to actually count the nodes in linked list. So let us take the help of this create method, because again we are not, see, already we know how to create a linked list, already we have finished it out, so let us not repeat it again. So I have just copied out the same create method alone. Okay. Then main function I have called it. Okay, here I'm just calling it display function. Let me remove it. Okay. So other than that, the create method will perfectly be creating a linked list. Until we provide -1, this will be receiving all elements from user and it will be creating a linked list. Node structure. Fine. Now it is time for us to introduce the function called as count nodes. So we are going to take a function called as count nodes, and here in count nodes, inside count nodes, what are all the argument required for what are all the arguments required by the function called as count nodes. So when it is coming to the iterative procedure, we were actually discussing about only the we were actually discussing about only having temp, that is a address, have a pointer variable to receive the address of the first node. So as a very first argument, what you do is you just simply write struct node start. Okay, struct node start temp. Now inside this function, first of all, we have to be taking a variable to start counting the nodes. So count is equal to 0. Next, we should start with moving from one node to next node. So we should start the traversing process. Traversing process can be done with the help of the syntax temp is equal to temp of next, which we have already discussed in previous concepts. Like I was actually dedicating a separate video for showing you a commonly used syntaxes. There I have clearly told you about this temp equal to temp of next, what it will exactly do. Temp equal to temp of next will move a pointer called as temp from one node to the next node that it is linked to. But this process of moving from one node to another node should be carried out not only for one time, but for many times. So I'm enclosing this process inside a loop, and I'm also choosing for while loop. The reason is because we do not know how many node a user is going to actually provide us. So we do not know the finite number of steps that we are going to carry out. So when you do not know the finite number of steps that you are going to carry out, then better you have to use while loop. So until when you will be keep on moving your pointer, until your pointer goes and reaches out the null position. So temp equal to temp of next, you will keep on moving up to your temp until your temp becomes null. So the condition that I am going to provide is temp not equal to null. Okay, temp not equal to null. So while temp is not equal to null, then temp equal to temp of next will be executed. And before this temp equal to temp of next, what we were planning? Before moving from one node to another node, increment the count of the variable count, so as that it means that you are counting the particular node. So initially you count the node and then you move to next node. Until when? Until your temp becomes null. So I mean, if your temp is not equal to null, you do this process again and again. Suppose if at some point of time when your temp becomes null, then you can probably stop the process. And coming out of your while loop, you can just proceed with printf, and you can just print like you can just print length of the linked list. Okay, length of the linked list is percentage d. So instead of percentage d, I can probably enter count. So this is a iterative way of like counting the code. This snippet already we have explained in the whiteboard session, right? So now we are gonna call this function called as count node after creating a node. So after creating a node, let me call this function called as count nodes. We will call this function. We will call this function called as count nodes. And here in count nodes, okay, here in count nodes, let me try to pass. Let me try to pass the address of the first node. So the address of the first node is in the pointer first. So let me pass that address to temp. Now passing this address of first node will automatically be passed to this temp pointer. So temp pointer will receive the address of first node, and again it can be processed, right? So we will just save and we will just check whether this is working properly or not. Okay, fine. So let me execute. So gcc hyphen o hello, and then so gcc hyphen o hello and the name of the file. Okay, I think it is like counting. One minute. Okay, I think there is a folder called as linked list. So cd linked list. Yeah, there inside this you have a file called as counting nodes. So counting, okay, counting nodes in the linked list. No syntax error. Let us go for execution. Okay, until the user is going to provide -1, the process will keep on going. Input will be keep on received by the code. So like enter 23, 34, 45, 56, 67, 78, 89, 90. How many nodes so far we have entered? Node 1, node 2, node 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 nodes that so far we have provided. So the length of the linked list have to be 8. So let us provide -1 to stop the process, and let us check. So you can able to see that the length of the linked list is 8. I think yes, we have inserted 8 elements. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So a total of 8 elements. Right? Fine. So next we will look into the recursive approach of displaying of counting the nodes. Okay, so let us take for example, let us take, so this is actually iterative approach. Okay, so this is iterative approach of counting nodes. This is iterative approach of counting nodes, and now we are gonna write uh, the recursive approach. Okay, we'll be doing recursive approach of counting nodes. Fine. So next thing, the name of the function. So first of all, the return type is void. The name of the function, let us take it as R, which means recursive. So R count node. So this is a recursive count node function. And what should be the argument of this? Already in the previous, like in the lecture that we have decided to take one pointer to receive address of the first node, and also a variable called as count to count the nodes respectively. Right? So first thing, let us take a pointer struct node star temp. Next argument is going to be integer variable called as count. So inside this r count node function, we made a clear statement that every recursive function should definitely have a base condition, either to stop or either to continue, right? So let us write a conditional statement. If the temp is not equal to null, then what you can do, if temp is not equal to null, we can count the number of node and we can move to next node. So what we were doing there in the lecture, what we were doing, instead of that process, we were calling the same function again, and we were passing temp of next instead of temp, and we were passing count plus 1 instead of count. So we'll be calling the same function r count nodes, and instead of temp we will be passing temp of next, we'll be passing temp of next, comma, and also we will be passing count plus 1. Okay, we will be also passing count plus 1 instead of count. Okay, fine. Now let us enter into else condition. So if this condition is true, then you keep on recursively calling this function, which will move you from one node to another node, and also it will be counting the number of nodes. Else, if this condition becomes false, which means if temp becomes null, then you can stop and you can just simply print. Okay, you can just simply print that the length of the linked list, is percentage d, and the value is going to be in the variable count. Okay, this is all about this recursive approach of counting node. You can ask me, is this the only way of recursively writing the function? No, not at all. There are few other ways also. Let us come to that after checking out the output. We will just modify the same recursive function in different ways, right? So fine. So here, instead of calling count nodes, let us call the function r count nodes, recursive count nodes. And now let us start executing it. So first of all, we will compile it again. There is a error. Okay. Actually, r count nodes, actually we are passing two arguments, but we are calling only, you are passing only one argument. So the next argument is the value of count, which can probably be initialized to 0 initially. Fine. I think now we can just start with the execution process, right? So let us compile it and let us again go for execution. It is waiting for us to enter in. So we'll do the same process. 23, 34, 45, 56, only 4 node. Now we will just stop and check whether the length of the linked list is 4. Yes. Can you able to see the output? Length of the linked list is 4. So the recursive approach is also perfectly working. Right? Fine. So now I told you that let us modify this recursive approach a little bit. So what we should have done is, actually, you can also just remove else condition. There is no necessity of providing else block. So you can just provide this printf statement after your I think, okay, fine, it will not work actually. Let me tell you else. Okay, else. So okay, how to modify this? What you could have done is that you could have changed the condition. If temp equal to null, if temp equal to null, you can take this printf statement and you could have provided here. And else part, coming to else part, you have taken this recursive call and you could have placed it inversely. So either write a condition for continuing. If you write a condition for continuing, take the recursive call and place it inside. Suppose if you are writing a condition for stopping, then have the recursive call in else condition. This is also one other way of writing. So I have just interchanged the position of the recursive call and the print statement, and also I have also changed the condition, complete contrast condition that we are giving now. Right. So now also, what we will do is we will check whether this is actually executing perfectly or not. So we'll go for compilation, and then for execution, let us provide 23, 56, 78, 56, 34, 21. So how many elements? 6 elements. So we will check whether the length is yes. The length of the linked list is 6. So this is also properly working. So both ways you can provide condition. Either condition for continuation, and inside you can provide recursive call, or condition for stopping, and inside you can print the value, and in the else part you can do your recursive call. Right? Fine. Now we will we will do, say, okay, so in the next subsequent video, we will be discussing about the time complexity analysis and space complexity analysis of both this iterative as well as the recursive approach. Right? Fine, guys. Okay, thank you, students. Right, hope to meet you in the next video.